Hello, so welcome to part 2 of the Bassjackers remix tutorial of Tiesto's song Maximal Crazy. Last time I focused on one of the lead synths used in the breaks. This time I'm going to be focusing on the bass synth that the Bassjackers use, that you just heard there. Again, I'm going to be uploading this whole project file for you to download once I've reached 500 likes on my Facebook page. So you'll get all the synths in this project file. There's quite a lot. So you'll get all that once I've got 500 likes on my Facebook page. I'll put the link in the description for you. So we'll just go ahead and get started on making this bass sound. So, as always, right click and create a combinator. Then you're going to want to create a 4 synthesizer and initialize the patch. Right. So start off, change the keyboard mode to mono legato, and that's about all you're going to do up there. We're going to use a sawtooth oscillator analog, and the only thing you're going to want to do now is bring the octave down to 2, and that's fine. The low pass ladder filter we're going to use type 2, so that's fine. Turn the frequency right up, and you're going to want the res set to 49, and envelope velocity and that, whatever that does, down to 0. And then finally, the last thing we're going to do on the actual synth is attack down to 0. This is in the amp envelope. Attack down to 0, decay and sustain right up, and the release right down. And that's your basic synth. It's not going to sound very good right now, but it will. Go ahead, right click and create a vocoder. And you're going to want to turn this to equalizer, and the band you're going to want at 8. And then you're going to want to touch the shift up slightly to 9. Then this is completely personal, but what I did was I touched up this frequency band, the very last one, band 8, just touched that up ever so slightly, and also this one, the fifth, band 5, touched that up not as much as the first one, but a little bit. That's all we're going to do there. Now we're going to have a barrage of Scream 4 distortions. We're going to create 3 today. So Scream 4 distortion number 1. Change the algorithm to warp, and the damage, bring that down to 23. Param 1, bring down to 16. And param 2 up to 110. Turn off the cut, and for the body, turn the resonance up to 26. The scale, bring down to 0. Auto at 85. And for the type, we're going to bring it to A. And the damage control, you're going to want to put up to 105. Time for the second Scream 4 distortion. This time we're going to use tube for the algorithm, and we're going to want to, what did I set the damage to on that one? Damage at 36. So bring the damage down quite a bit. 36. Param 1 at 0 and param 2 at 110. Again, turn off the cut. And for the body this time, you're going to want the res at 64. The scale and the auto both at 0, and the type at E. And the master, we're going to want to touch up a bit to 97. Then for the last one, we're going to want a tape. Tape compressor. Forgot the damage amount again. Damage at 40. Ooh. Bring the damage down to 40. Then param 1 at 127. Param 2 at 0. High cut, the cut off again. Then the body, you're going to turn the resonance down to 0, scale down to 0, and auto up to 127. And then again, we're going to use type E. And the master this time you're going to want at 111. Then we're going to create an EQ or two EQs. So right click, effects, M class equalizer. Turn on the low cut so everything below 30 Hz is filtered out. And then I'm going to use param 1 and param 2, so chuck them both on. For the first parameter, you're going to want the frequency at 405.3 Hz. The gain at 5.7 and the Q at 2.4. Then for param 2, the frequency you're going to want to put up to 1.438. And the gain at 4.6. And this time you're going to want to bring the Q down to 1. And that's all for the first EQ. Go ahead and create a second M class equalizer. This time we're just going to turn on the low cut and use the low shelf, and we're going to bring all of this down. Don't worry about cutting out all the bass frequencies because we're going to be using a sub bass combinator to go along with this patch, so that'll be fine. So next we're going to create a compressor, M class compressor. You're going to want to leave the input at 0. The threshold you're going to want at -22. -22.4. And the ratio, you're going to want to turn the softening on as well. The ratio you're going to want at 14/1. Attack at 19 milliseconds. The release at 171. And output gain just leave as it is. And then we're going to create a maximizer. Where is it? In class maximizer, you're going to want to make sure the limiter button is on and the 4 millisecond look ahead button right on as well. Input gain, put that right up and leave both the attack and release at fast. And output gain, touch up to 2.2. And turn on the soft clip and turn it up to 79. And then the final thing we're going to do, which is quite important for the sound, is create an RV7000 advanced reverb unit. We'll just start off on the master section. If you make sure the EQ enable's turned on, the gate enable's turned on, then the decay bring down to 12. The high frequency damp at 17. The high EQ at 16. And the dry wet at 51. And then click this little button here beside the word remote programmer. Change the algorithm to small space. And then the size you're going to want at 6.3 meters. And then the mod rate at 8. And room 2, so just leave that at room 2. Then change this to 119 Hertz, and then this to 50. Pre-delay at 0, and then mod amount at 18. And then go to the EQ section. You're going to want this at low gain at -18. And the low frequency at 92. Just cuts out the reverb below 92 Hertz really. Then for the second reverb frequency controls, change the param to gain to 6.6 decibels. And then the frequency this time you're going to want at 276. And then for the Q, going to want that at 5.6. And final thing, just click on the gate button here. And you're going to want to change the gate threshold to 6. So that's all the way up. The decay, leave it 0, make sure it's triggered by the audio source, and the high pass, leave that at 181. Attack at 156 milliseconds. The hold at 0, and the release at 100. There you go, that is the bass synth. Let's check. So you'll notice it's quite high, there's not much low end in it, which is alright, because generally with this type of bass sound, bass synth sound, you're going to want to layer it with a sub bass. I'm not actually going to do a tutorial on the sub bass patch, but I will upload the patch and put a link to it in the description. Basically, what I've done for this tutorial is the sub bass patch. I've just taken a carbon copy of the high bass part and just duplicated it and put it below. So the sub bass sounds like this. And yeah, when you layer them together, you get quite a nice big sound. Like that. So there you go. It's the part 2 of the Bassjackers tutorial. As I said, once my Facebook page, digital switchover Facebook page, reaches 500 likes, you will get this whole project file from start to finish. Yep. So I've just done another tutorial as well, and I'll upload that just after this. So make sure you check that one out as well, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you do like my Facebook page, there is a free download of a bootleg remix I just done last week for download as well. So have fun, guys. See you next time.